try to live my life every day. Keep out of strife, come what may. I try to do unto others as I'd have them do to me. But it can't be done for everyone, and now it's plain to see. You are a cunt, 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 cunt. If that's stinking cunt, say it ain't true, but he'll tell you you're motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt. I try to be real nice, say it twice, be real nice, even though it is hard to keep up this facade. And now I see, dearie me, what a hassle this would be. I'm out of luck, don't give a fuck, cause you're the cunt, not me.
Why don't you go fuck yourself, dickhead?
You are a cunt, 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 big fat stinking cunt. Say it ain't true, but I'm gonna tell you you're a motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, 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 motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to your toes you're a big fat stinking cunt.
With all due respect, the views and opinions expressed on Threatcon 5 clothing and Threatcon 5 radio are strictly the views of Threatcon 5 and do not reflect or represent the values of the Veteran Radio Syndicate. If you get offended by anything you hear on this show, please feel free to go fuck yourself. We thank you for listening.
Hey everybody, welcome to Threatcon 5 Radio here on VRS, Threatcon 5 Radio, Threatcon 5 Clothing, and other Facebook pages throughout Facebook land, and of course on our YouTube channel. I am Bulldog, joined tonight by no fucking buddy but me. Judy is sick. We hope she feels better. Somebody's probably going to be going over there in the next, I don't know, maybe hour, 2 hours a day, whatever, to clean the fucking sand out of her for JJ, because, you know, we don't have time to be sick. But anyway, we are here on this Taco Tuesday evening, 8 July 2019. And I have a pretty decent show planned for you tonight, but I'm going to tell you that we are only going to be on for 1 hour, okay? The reason being is I don't have enough material to give you more than 1 hour. So that's how it's going to be. I need you all to remember that we are brought to you proudly by Beard Barbecue, LLC. If you go to, what? Funny how no MLAM on here, no MLAM? What are you talking about, no MLAM? Oh, fucking no. Anyway, so go over to beardbarbecuesauce.com. It's beardbqsauce.com and use coupon code VET4LIFE and save yourself some money on your barbecue sauce. Made by a Air Force veteran, but it's still good, trust me. Good stuff, so check them out. Also, we are brought to you again proudly by our friends over at Venomous Firearms. If you're in the market for a new firearm, whether it be a 9mm or a 50 cal, check them out. Good prices, good sales, good people, good veterans running that organization as well. And if you like coffee, they have some of the best coffee out there. So please go check out Venomous Firearms and the Unspoken sponsor of the show is Threatcon 5 Clothing. So go over to Threatcon 5 Clothing, use coupon GRENADE when you check out, get yourself a badass t-shirt. The Fuck Kaepernick shirt is still available, so you should definitely check that out and I don't know, buy one. But let's say hi to a bunch of people that are already in here today. I see Valerie Adams, I see Dean Cerny, Glenn Estes, David Schecker, Ashley Butler, some cunt named Mickey Severson, Jeffy Jebby, Glenn Estes, I think I might have said that already, Justin Keeney, Lee Colvin, Ray Trueblood, Joe Cayley, good to see you. We got a new face in here today. I see Charles Ito Showalter. Good to see you. Welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy what we bring to the table here. Don Gay is here. John McNatt. Bob's and Vagine. Jade Lopez. How is everybody doing? So I want to start right off from the beginning with talking about my douche of the week. And I didn't produce a picture because, to be honest with you, I don't have enough freaking room on the screen to present all the douches that I'm going to talk about this week. First, I want to start with Frederica Wilson, representative down in the great state of Florida. And I use that term loosely. So this past week, Frederica Wilson decided that it was a good idea to go on TV and say that she is tired of seeing all these people openly bashing members of Congress, and that she believes that these individuals who are bashing Congress should be persecuted. I would like to remind Frederica Wilson, old fucking cowboy, your douche of the week. My douche of the week, people, is Summer's Eve. It's so refreshing, and it has such a wonderful smell. No, but seriously, okay? So, I would like to remind Frederica Wilson that, you know what? First and foremost, you work for us, and we'll say whatever the hell we want. And I try very hard to look at you when you're wearing that goofy-ass fucking cowboy hat, and the only thing I see is you sitting there in front of the microphone going, "Oh, yeah! Snap into a Slim Jim!" Fuck that garbage, okay? Douche number 2. Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick decided that when the Nike, or Nike, whatever, however the hell they pronounce it, company was going to produce a tennis shoe with the original stars from the Betsy Ross flag, and Colin Kaepernick had a problem with that, because of course Colin Kaepernick had a problem with that. Who gives a shit what Colin Kaepernick says? Apparently Nike. He had a problem with the fact that it was a flag that represented the time in which this country was ran by slave owners, or what happened, or what you will, however you want to put it. But I want to remind Colin Kaepernick of a few things. Okay, and we continue to have to remind these people that are so quick to throw out the, oh, we need reparations. Oh, we're a country that was founded on the backs of slaves. Colin Kaepernick, I'm pretty sure you converted to Muslim, and there are still Muslims in this world who are slaving Africans, like real black Africans, okay? Not Colin Kaepernick African Americans, or Africans who, you know, were adopted by white families and grew up and had the whole world given to him. We're not talking about those kind of black people. We're talking about actual Africans that are enslaved by Muslims in this world, okay? I want to remind you that the religion that you chose to convert to still to this day keep slaves. I would just want to remind you of that. I also want to remind you that the Betsy Ross flag, Betsy Ross, a Quaker, was someone who was one of the first abolitionists in this country who pushed to end slavery. Okay? So maybe you should educate yourself a little bit before you start spouting your cocksucker all over the place and telling people that, we should not be flying that flag. Because if you look back to 2008 at the inauguration of one Barack Hussein Obama, he had the Betsy Ross flag flying behind him amongst the other flags of the United States. Because guess what? It's fucking history there. All right? Now, I want to take it to the next one. Let's take it to Nike. Why does Nike, the swoosh, why do they care what Colin Kaepernick has to say? There are plenty of people out there who are better suited to be representing a company like Nike. I don't know. Maybe the U.S. women's soccer team, Miss O'Hara, who, would be a good representative, and we'll get to her in a second, okay? We'll get to her in a second. So, Nike, pull your head out of your full point of contact and realize that you are listening to a complete fucking douche canoe. Colin Kaepernick shouldn't be giving advice to anybody other than how to not effectively fulfill an NFL contract. Because he's really good at that, and that's the only thing he should probably be giving advice to. My next douche of the week is the United States Women National Team soccer team, who yesterday, not all of them, okay? Not all of them. Yesterday, the U.S. national team won the World Cup over against the Netherlands. I guess that those games are being played in France. I really don't give a shit about France. But in their celebration, the Colin Kaepernick's husband, that other one that kneels for the flag, I got to bring up these names. Okay, so they are named, hold on, Megan Rapinoe. She's one of them. She's the one that's married to Colin Kaepernick. I think that's Colin Kaepernick's husband, because she's got bigger balls than he does. Alex Morgan and another one, and I cannot remember her name. U.S. Soccer team roster. I probably should say women, huh? But anyway, so they had the flag over their shoulders as they were celebrating, and Alex Morgan, Megan Rapinoe, and Allie Long all decided that they had to stop their celebration in order to take a photo. In the midst of doing so, they dropped the United States national colors on the ground and commenced stepping on them. But Miss Kelly O'Hara was very quick, and if you saw the video, she was very quick to go over and pick the flag up and take it to safety. So, yeah. That's somebody that you could definitely be using as a better spokesperson for your company there, Nike. But, you don't think about shit like that. So that's that. Now, there are some other people who I would like to call a douche of the week. Start with Eric Swalwell, representative from California who had entered into the Democratic race for president. He's one of the guys that has been, of the 50 or so freaking Democrats who are running for president in 2020, and he's the first one to drop out. And the reason he dropped out is because he sucks. Actually, I really don't know why he dropped out, and I really don't fucking care. I don't think any one of them has a chance in hell of winning against President Trump anyway, so there you go. So that's pretty much it. There are my douche of the weeks. I think there are plenty of them, and we could continue to talk all night about who could be the douche of the week, but those are the ones that I'm sticking to. So there you have it. Now, of the, I think, 22 people who are running on the Democratic side, they are down to now 21. And what's funny is they all have less than that at their rallies. So it is what it is. Okay? It is what it is. So there you go. That's the douche of the week. Let's move on right now to this week's fake sponsor. Enjoy this.
Ta-da. Gotta have balls to come into this place. I'm Gilroy Cunnings and I run Brooklyn Ball Barbers, New York's original manscaping barbershop. Weddings, anniversaries, doctor visits. We cater our services to any occasion. The male genitalia is not the loveliest of God's creations. That doesn't mean your package shouldn't be gift wrapped. Our most popular styles include the lightning bolt, flat tops, bullseyes, the brodazzle, crosshatch, heart shapes, full bald, cornrows, landing strips, and the comb over. A lot of guys who come through these doors just want their rug to match their mug. We do handlebars, truckers, and chaplains. There's no greater source of insecurity for a man than the size, shape, and haircut of his penis. And I like to think that the work I do is therapeutic, even spiritual in nature. Our work covers all areas from the belly button to the chode, and we make sure each customer is fully satisfied before they leave our shop. And not to mention your dick pic game will be second to none. Some customers come in just for the shampoo and massage. We get lots of big names coming in here. Jay-Z, Dwayne Johnson, Ron Howard, the list goes on. And for customers with pubes over 8 inches in length, we can arrange a donation to Cocks of Love, a local charity bringing merkins to those in need. With a straight razor, there is no room for error. I've actually gone through rigorous hand stability training and even had to give up coffee so that I'm steady as possible. And I've found that trimming bushes really helped me trim bushes.
Could I have the bald?
Due to the scrotum's uneven surface, there's only one way to give a fully bald finish.
And there you have it. This week's oh, really? These sons of bitches. Never fails. Never freaking fails. For anybody that's still here, I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'm back. Apparently, I made the boo-boo, and I forgot to get that video. I forgot to have that video, Damn it. Damn it! I hate when I forget to do that. So, the video had a copyright on it, and Facebook flagged it. So, you know, I don't get it. I don't understand how something can be on the internet, and you use it, and guess what? They take it away. Fuckers. So I'd like to add a new douche of the week. Mark Zuckerberg. You and all your chodes over at Facebook need to readdress your way of doing things because that's bullshit. Okay? Alright, so anyway. We are back. Sorry about that. I'm glad you're all jumping back in here and joining me again. So, yep. Check us out. We're on back. We're back. We're back. We're back. All right. All right. All right. So there was our fake sponsor of the week, and I'll try to do my best next time to ensure that I don't have a copyright on it, so that the show doesn't end. Because we were doing pretty well. I was doing pretty well. I was here all by myself, and I was doing pretty well. But whatever. Okay. So start sharing the show again. Get that shit out there. Let everybody know that you like to tune in to Threatcon 5 Radio on Taco Tuesday Eve. And, you know, maybe they'll come back and, or they'll come and they will check it all out. So there we have it. That fake sponsor, I laughed my ass off when I saw that the first time because oh yeah, that's an actually good idea. I could do call-ins tonight, huh? I can only do them one at a time though. But whatever. Somebody, there you go. All right. Yeah, maybe I will do call-ins tonight if I still have my phone number. I don't know. But so when you have a chode who is more than 8 inches, your manscape on your chode is more than 8 inches long. We can have that donated to Cocks of Love. So please, I know some of you out there, grow that shit and donate it. But all right. So anyway, that kind of threw me a little bit. I wasn't expecting to lose the show, but you never know what Facebook's going to flag, so it is what it is. I want to talk a little bit about something that happened this week, and this is going to be my first rant of the night. This past week, President Trump held a parade in Washington, D.C. to basically give some recognition to the American service members and our military. And a lot of people were up in arms about it, mostly Democrats, mostly the left, worrying about how much it's going to cost the American taxpayer, so on and so forth. If you saw the numbers of people who were at this event this past week, I would tend to believe that more people liked the idea of being able to be at the DC, at the mall, in downtown Washington, D.C., and watch the military be represented in such a way that it shows our men and women who awesomely and unselfishly wear that uniform with the understanding that they're prepared to put their lives on the line in defense of our Constitution, in defense of freedom, the very thing that most of these people are taking granted for. Taken for granted, I should say. A couple of people asked me for my opinion of it, and I'm going to tell you right now that, you know what, there was probably some soldiers out there and sailors, Marines, airmen who were upset about the fact that they had to, on their 4th of July weekend, they had to dress in uniform and march in parades. But you know what? I can tell you that if I was still serving, I would have been more than proud to have donned my uniform for such a electric event. I mean, it was packed. I heard that there was not only the hundreds and thousands of people that were there, but there were people that were stuck at airports that weren't able to get in. There were people that were in traffic on the highways trying to get there. And, the numbers would have been astronomical if everybody could have showed up. And the speeches that the president had were absolutely freedom boner driven. I mean, if you listen to the way he talked and how he talked about our military and how proud he was to be an American, it's so satisfying to know that we have a president, and I don't give a shit what you think of him, okay? Because I know some left-wing nut job is going to come across this show and be like, oh, I don't really like President Trump and he's wasting our taxpayer money. Well, listen, for the Republicans, it cost us some taxpayer money. For the Democrats, trust me, it was all free. Okay? The whole thing was free. You can enjoy it without having to worry about anything. And there you go. Okay? So stop bitching about stuff and just live it up. It was a great thing. I mean, I didn't watch a lot of it because I had other stuff going on, but we actually have a president that wants to identify our military service members, our military men and women, and show them love that they're otherwise not getting from the civilian population. And I don't mean the whole civilian population, but if you look at it, Back in the 70s when our men were returning from Vietnam and how badly they were treated when they were spit on in the streets and, thrown out of places and called baby killers and all this, We're not at that point right now, but there are a lot of people in this country who honestly could give two shits about our military. They could give two shits about our country as a whole. And I'm really getting upset that people want to criticize the President of the United States for trying to recognize the men and women who unselfishly take an oath to defend our Constitution and to don a uniform knowing that there's a good chance that they could be sent off to a foreign land to have to defend our country against our enemies. So anybody, honestly, that had a problem with what the president did, you need to really look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I just being a complete douche canoe, or do I have a legitimate gripe in what it is that the president is trying to do? Because everything I have heard about the event, it was absolutely amazing, and I hope it's done again next year. Some things are worth the money. These parades used to happen all the time, and there's never a bad time to recognize a service member. So just remember, when you see them out there, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, whatever, you see them and they're wearing a hat that, has them stand out as a veteran, please thank them for their service. Let them know how much you care about them. The other day, I was coming out of the grocery store and there was a Vietnam veteran behind me. And I looked right at him and I said, thank you for your service. Welcome home. This guy was dumbfounded. We're talking 43 years since the Vietnam War ended, and these men are still upset or still confused when they hear somebody saying thank you for your service or welcome home, because they didn't hear it when they returned. And it's important for us to let them know how much we care about them and how much we love them. All right. So that's all I'm going to talk about with that. Show your support so that we can have one of these things again. And, definitely, let the veterinary community know how much you care about them. All right. All right. So the next thing that I want to talk about tonight is a incentive that I have going right now on the Threatcon 5 clothing website. If you are an individual who wants to give back to a veteran in need, we see it all the time. Every time I post a shirt, there's always somebody that says, I wish I could buy one, but I can't afford it. We just launched a new thing where you can buy a shirt for a veteran, and you can either put in the remarks that this is the veteran I want it to go to with an address, or you can say just give it to a random veteran, or you could say bring it to the VA. I had somebody buy one of these shirts on Friday, and I have a VA appointment on Wednesday of this week, and I'm going to bring the t-shirt there, and I'm going to give it to a veteran. So, this is one of the things that, we can start doing to help each other out, because something as small as giving somebody a t-shirt or smiling or whatever is something that is straight going to make their day. There are people out there struggling that we'll never know about because they put that face on that they are, just wanting to look like nothing's bothering them. But deep down, they're dealing with something that they can't explain or they don't want to explain, whatever the case may be. So let's do something to help our fellow vets. We also have another incentive on the website where if you are somebody that is bought from the company, and there's a lot in the chat right now that are doing that, you can get a 50% discount code by simply referring somebody to the site. Now, if somebody goes to the site and they buy a t-shirt and in the remarks they write your name, you are going to get a 50% discount for your next purchase. So please, check these things out. I'm just trying to do things that, help the company stand out, because, the success of Threatcon 5 clothing means the success in helping veterans that are struggling. That's not going to change. So last week I talked a little bit about a surprise that was coming, something that I was going to announce very soon. And I want to share that with you all tonight. Now, some of you may notice that I am wearing a brace on my hand now. If you remember, David Goyette, what's going on, brother? How are you? When I went to Virginia on Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend, me and Kendra went down there. I had posted that I had a fall out of the shower, and I landed on my wrist. Now, when I landed on my wrist, something was protruding from this part of my wrist here, and like the veteran that I am, I pushed it back in and heard a little bit of a pop, but whatever. Okay. Well, it's been over a month and it's not getting any better. So I went to the VA on Friday, and they did X-rays, and they found that there was no break, which is good. But they wanted me to get a brace until I see my doctor this Wednesday to request an MRI and further things. Now I go down to the OT and to get this brace, and the therapist down there looked at my wrist, and she's like, "Wow, you know, there's a lot of swelling there." And she goes, "You know what, I know this is going to hurt, but does it hurt when you do this?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, definitely." She goes, "Yep, I think you definitely need to get an MRI because I think you actually have some ligament damage." So, yeah. So that's something that happened in this week. But the big news that I have is I am bringing Uncle Si to New Hampshire. He will be here on the 19th. He will be a guest on the show on the, the 22nd. And, yeah, so that's the big news. Actually, that's not the big news. I'm kidding. But he will be a guest on the show, so you're all going to be able to see Uncle Si here on the show with me. But no, the big surprise is I'm selling my home and moving out to the seacoast. I'm going to be moving in with somebody, my fiance, and we're going to start our lives together. So yeah, that is that was the big news. So I'm going to be moving out to the seacoast of New Hampshire, and we're gonna be doing some new things. So pretty soon, I don't know. We might have to take a break from the show for a couple weeks. Not sure yet. If we can find a place before that, then it'll be an easy transition. But this should happen probably, I don't know, maybe September, October, anytime between maybe August and October. That's going to happen. So that's the big news. And the minor news is that me and Kendra are going to the Maldives for her birthday. So I definitely will not be doing a show on October 1st, I believe it is. We'll be in the Maldives soaking up the sun and walking on white sand and swimming in beautiful ocean shit in the Indian Ocean. Yeah, so there you go. Yep, plot twist. Si is flying out to help me move. No, he's not coming out here. We're going to have a good time. I can't wait for Si to get here. It's going to be a really good time. David, absolutely. Yeah, I won't be that far from you. So that's going to be pretty cool. All right, so who's ready to get into some news? Because I've got some pretty decent stories for this week, and we're down to the last half hour of the show. So, like I said, I'm only going to do an hour show tonight because I don't have a lot of material, but we're gonna try to do the best we can to get through here. Okay. What? Hi, Chad. Hi, John Whitworth. All right, so I got a bunch of stories, and some of these are really funny. Some of them they say aren't true, but I don't give a damn because they're fucking hilarious. First one starts in Berlin, New Hampshire. Now, if you don't know where Berlin, New Hampshire you're probably better off because it's literally the armpit of New Hampshire. But a family got quite a shock when an unsuspected visitor showed up in their kitchen. Jessica and Eric Cunningham found a bear cub in their home on Monday, just this past Monday. I'm standing here doing something, and I see something out of the corner of my eye down here at the door. And I thought it was my neighbor's dog, Eric said. It was just a big bear. So I kind of scooted him off like this, and I told my wife, we've got to get out of the house. There's a bear in here. All I could think of was he was in the house, just demolishing everything, Jessica said. The couple had left the door open as they were working on remodeling their home and think the cub must have smelled takeout lunch. Eric said the bear went straight for the ketchup. Well, of course they did. Bears love ketchup. He is giant when you first see him. He's just big, he said. Now when we think back, he was just a cute little bear, but you don't think about that at the moment. They managed to scare the cub out of the house, but that didn't last long. A few minutes later, he came back up the stairs and was like right on this top stair. Like, let me in kind of deal, Jessica said. And then he went up these stairs and off he went. New Hampshire Fish and Game conservation officers told the family that if a bear cub does come back into their backyard, a trap will be waiting for it, filled with donuts and vanilla extract. But the Cunninghams are hoping the cub has found some wilderness to enjoy instead. I've never been this close to a bear in my life, not even at the zoo, Eric said. This guy needs to get out more. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny because here in the town that I live in, there's a lot of people that are saying that there's all these bears that are being seen around, and then they're not afraid of humans. Look at, I mean, with all the work that's being done in building of houses and all this shit, I mean, for Christ's sakes, these animals are seeking new areas because we're forcing them out of theirs, But that story was given to me by Kendra, so I want to say thank you, Kendra, for giving me that story. This next story was sent to me by Matt Bartberger. I cannot read the headline because it gives the whole story away, so I'm going to just tell you that the story comes to us from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, where a 35-year-old Wisconsin man was sentenced Monday to 3 years of probation in Deland Park and his place of work. Patrick Beeman was originally charged with 12 misdemeanors of criminal damage to property, but 7 of the charges were dismissed in early June. As of the conditions of his probation, Beeman will have to serve 150 days in jail, pay more than $5,500 in restitution. He will not be allowed to possess or consume alcohol or any controlled substances, and must complete 100 hours of community service. While the state recommends Beeman serve only 30 days in jail as part of his probation, Judge Kent Hoffman sentenced him to 30 days for each of the 5 counts of criminal damage to property, served consecutively, citing the need for more severe punishments. Now, let me tell you what Mr. Beeman is charged with, and you tell me in the chat whether you think that the punishment fits the crime. 35-year-old Wisconsin man Patrick Beeman was charged for clogging women's toilets in the Deland Park and in his place of work. Clogging women's toilets. He is called the serial toilet clogger. 150 days in jail, 3 days of probation for clogging women's toilets. Is that justified? Let me know. What do you guys think? Do you think that that's justified punishment? 150 days in jail for clogging women's toilets. Now, let's be real for a minute. Why was he using the women's toilet? Could it have been because somebody was using the men's? Maybe. Do you think he was intentionally going into the women's bathroom with intentions of clogging it? I mean, look at, if somebody's got a shit, you got a shit. Just the way it goes. So, I'm asking you, is that a fair punishment? 150 days in jail for destroying a fucking bathroom. Was the toilet seat up or down? That's a good one, Dean. That's a good one. So would it have mattered? I mean, if he had left the toilet seat up or down, would that have mattered? I don't know. I don't know. All right, apparently you fuckers aren't going to answer me, so I'm moving on. The next story is right in Wisconsin as well. And if you can guess, this story was sent to me by Terrell Gould, because he's in Wisconsin. A La Crosse man is in trouble with the law after he was arrested for running around a parking lot naked and telling officers he was on tons and tons of acid. The La Crosse Tribune reports that police received a complaint during the early morning hours of June 29th of a man running around naked and yelling incoherently. Police found the 29-year-old in a parking lot of the city's north side. Asked why he was running around naked, the man said, "Oh, that's what all these drugs are for. And what's wrong with being a heroin addict?" Well, I can answer that question for you, buddy. Running around naked in downtown La Crosse is probably what's wrong with being a heroin addict. Police asked him what he'd been taking, and he responded, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of acid. He was arrested for arrested for lewd and lascivious behavior and disorderly conduct. Terrell Gould, Sheboygan is like 20 miles down 23 for me. It's not fair. I agree. That's definitely not a fair punishment. Jade Lopez, thank you for answering me on that. I think that's a pretty fucked up punishment. I don't think that you should get 150 days in jail for clogging a fucking toilet. But apparently that judge is just a douchebag. That's right, I said it. Which brings us to our next story. This one was sent to me by Dean Cerny, and it comes from Belfair, Washington. And this answers so many questions. Everybody is always wondering, does Bigfoot exist? Well, I am here to tell you that obviously Bigfoot exists, because Nancy Hoggart told Bigfoot Tractors that she and the infamous Bigfoot have been in a sexual relationship since 2008 and are trying to start a family. She claims that Bigfoot lives in Mason County, Washington, and that she first encountered the beast while tending to her marijuana grow. Now, I'm not against marijuana, but I think she just answered why anybody should not believe her when it comes to whether or not she's really in a relationship with Bigfoot. So, I was tending to my marijuana, and I ran into Bigfoot, and we're starting a family together. She goes on to say that Bigfoot was standing there eating all the buds off my plants. At first I wanted to run because he's very scary, but I thought he might eat all my marijuana plants, and that's how I used to make a living. I pointed my shotgun at him, and he put his hands up, very scared. Was he saying, hands up, don't shoot? Or, I don't know. That's when I looked down and noticed he had a huge erection between his legs. I hadn't gotten any in a while, and well, from there, it somehow turned into an adult movie. I don't know if he started it or I did, but he did me from behind, which felt great. Hoggart said the relationship blossomed from just sex partners to deep love. He's so sweet and caring, she said. He brings me flowers and mushrooms, holds me while we stargaze. The only downside is he doesn't speak English. I have taught him how to say my name, but he just kinds of garbled and mispronounced it's Nuncy. Hoggart said they're trying for a baby, but no luck this far. But she is confident it will happen even though she is 52. Once I'm pregnant, Bigfoot, or John as I call him, and I are going to settle down and live in a quiet, domesticated life in my house. He loves being in the forest, but I'm sick of the long-distance relationship. I have to commute for 3 hours to be with my man. It's getting old and gas is expensive. Hoggart also said that she's going to legally change her last name to Bigfoot. Well, of course she is. If she gets married, wouldn't her name now be Nancy Bigfoot? Of course, the big question is, will she reveal Bigfoot to the public? Will humanity finally have living proof the mythological creature is real? Nah. Hoggart said regarding presenting Bigfoot to the world, government scientists will just take and dissect him or try to turn him into a soldier to fight ISIS or something. You know how the government is. She's right there. She did say she will sell pictures and samples of Bigfoot's fur through a website she plans to set up. Now that marijuana is legal in Washington D.C., in Washington State, I don't have an income. So capitalizing on my boyfriend's fame is how I plan to make money. This woman is a fucking cuckoo chachoo. I don't get it. I mean, how does one have sex with Bigfoot? From behind, and she's 52 and is going to have a baby. That's awful. It's awful. Anybody that's into dating might want to stay away from Nancy Hoggart, because that shit's been ridden hard and put away wet. Moving right along. My next story. And you cannot make this shit up, people. This is the first Florida story of the night. A Florida woman practicing either misguided passenger safety methods or some extremely public domination, submission, sexual humiliation play was pulled over in Polk County, Florida, because a Florida man locked in a dog cage was in the bed of the F-150 pickup that she was driving. What's going on here? Fingers crossed for the public dominatrix angle, mostly because putting a man in a dog cage in the back of a giant pickup is 100% the Florida redneck version of a man being walked on a leash. Nothing screams treat me like a dog to the region that being questionably secure and endangered in the back of a speeding pickup truck. But the man and the woman had to expect this was coming. It can't be legal to transport another human being like this, even if they volunteered for it. It's certainly not legal to parade a man around on the county roads while he's fully erect, moaning, howling, and showing off his O-face the whole area. Hopefully part of the arrangement was that the man agreed to pay the ticket. That would also be humiliating, so why wouldn't he? The other options here are, who even knows? The man is being transported to face a trial by the county's meth dealer. The man was convinced he was a gator and kept trying to bite the woman, so she threw him in a cage and is driving him back to the swamp. The man drunkenly confused the cage for his apartment the night before, and the woman never saw him in there as she started driving. Everything is on the table, and most assured, the truth will somehow be stranger than fiction guessed at here. Yeah. So that is that. Yeah, I'm with you, Dean. What if he had a seatbelt? Would it have been okay then? I don't know. But I have one last story. Actually, I have a couple stories. These were sent to me by Kendra. Virginia dad on Thursday fired 39 warning shots and brawled with a naked woman who called herself the devil after she allegedly broke into the family's home on their first night living there. The violent confrontation happened in Chesterfield County on the evening of 4th of July, police said. The female suspect, who was naked, with blue hair and a ponytail, broke into the family's home and refused to leave, telling them, "I'm the devil." The dad of the family fired 39 warning shots at the intruder, but she was undeterred. 39 warning shots. Isn't that like fucking 38 too many? I think after the first one, if she doesn't leave, shoot the bitch. She says she's the devil anyway. But a brawl broke out between the woman and the family, including the 12-year-old son. Punches and furniture were reportedly thrown about. The fight ended after the 12-year-old shoved a wrench into the intruder's neck. Damn. Fucking 12-year-old is straight up fucking savage as fuck. She had the strength of 4 men, the father later told the station. Both the dad and the intruder were hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Neither of their identities were released. A GoFundMe account has been set up to repair the damage of the family's new home. A photo on the page shows the walls ridden with bullet holes and blood strewn throughout the flood? Okay, whatever. I think that's the wrong word, but... First night in our beautiful home when an intruder decides to enter our home and tries to take our life at one point. Read a post on the GoFundMe page where we have lost our home, we have lost furniture, we have lost it all. Police said the woman is expected to be charged with multiple crimes in connection with the alleged break-in after her release from the hospital. Well, let that be a fucking a lesson to you. Don't move into a new house on the 4th of July. It's when all the wackos come out. The last story I got that I'm going to close out the show. But if you haven't heard, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak deleted his personal Facebook account last year and is now telling everyone they should do the same. Woz was stopped by TMZ at Reagan National Airport in D.C. recently and warned that the lack of privacy on the platform isn't worth it for most people, adding a warning more generally, who knows if my cell phone is listening right now. There are many different kinds of people, and some benefits of Facebook are worth the loss of privacy, he told TMZ. But to many like myself, my recommendation is to most people, you should figure out a way to get off Facebook. Woz said that while he's worried about the invasions of privacy by big tech, he didn't think there was anything that could be done to stop it. But everything about you, I mean, they can measure your heartbeat with lasers now. They can listen to you with a lot of devices. What the fuck is up with this story? They can listen to you with a lot of devices. Let me see if I can figure this out. Who knows if my cell phone's listening right now? That's what he set up earlier. Alexa has already been in the news a lot, Woz told TMZ. So I worry because you're having a conversation that you think is private. You're saying words that really shouldn't be listened to because you don't expect it, but there's almost no way to stop it. Wozniak originally dumped Facebook just 3 weeks after the Cambridge Analytica scandal broke in March of 2018. Scandal revealed that private firms were using Facebook data to help manipulate the 2016 presidential election in favor of President Donald Trump. By monitoring user moods and behaviors on the platform, Facebook has since been implicated in plenty of other transgressions, including being complicit in genocide in Myanmar. According to a report from the UN, Facebook admitted that its platform had been used to foment division and incite offline violence. Wozniak's solution, which you can hear in the entire video on YouTube, is that he admittedly been floated before. Just let everyone pay for their privacy. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that if Facebook starts charging money, I am out. Out. Not going to happen. I'm not paying for that shit, and I don't think that you should either. So anyway, this is going to bring us to the end of the show. I hope next week, Judy's going to feel well enough to come on. But if not, I'll make sure that I have enough material to be able to get me through the entire 2 hours. I hope that some of you will stick around for. Hi, Stephen, Bretta, and Bill Phipps. Good to see you. Unfortunately, you're coming in at the end of tonight's show. Normally, we run for 2 hours, but normally I have a co-host, and my co-host tonight is dealing with strep throat and is very sick, so I had to, do this on my own. So I certainly hope that this won't be the only night that you guys tune in. We love seeing new people here, so please tune in next week. But okay, so anyway, getting back to what I was saying, I will ensure that I have enough material for next week in case Judy's still not feeling up to it. Remember that we're brought to you by Beard BQ Sauce, great barbecue sauce. Check out their the Carolina Reaper sauce. I love it. It does have a good kick to it, but for Christ's sakes, I did the freaking Toe of Satan challenge, and I did the one chip challenge, so my stomach is like rock solid anyway. But that's pretty good. If you don't like that, you got the mustard sauce, you got the bourbon sauce. They have a lot of rubs that you can check out. So go to beardbqsauce.com. Use Vet for Life for a coupon code, and that'll save you 10%. Go over and check out Venomous Firearms. our sponsor, who's back with us. These are both veteran-owned companies. Venomous Firearms. You can get good deals on different firearms, or you can buy their amazing freaking coffee. Those who have, tasted the Taste of Freedom or any of the other coffee blends will tell you that their coffee is literally to freaking, it'll keep you wired, trust me. So check them out. Go check out Threatcon 5 clothing. Get the Fuck Kaepernick shirt, or get the N22 because one is too damn many. Get the U.S. Army shirt. Get the there's a bunch of shirts out there. Go over and check them out. Use coupon code DR2019 or Grenade to save 10%. And I'm gonna close it with this. We just went through a American Badass is definitely good coffee, Amanda, for sure. That is one of his good flavors. Check out some of our friends that are here on the show too. If you're looking for a good veteran organization to donate to, check out the Companion Ranch. If you're a individual that wants to get involved directly with a veteran organization, there's Warrior Point. They have chapters in every state, and they're revamping to try to do some good things so veterans always have somebody to talk to. Check out Canines for Camis. They are located in California. It's a great organization. Check them out. And amongst everything that we talk about on the show, about checking out our sponsors or checking out some of our friends or whatever, the one thing that I want to leave you with is this. Please, let's not leave a veteran behind. Okay, there are far too many stories out there of veterans that are taking their lives, that are pushing and pushing and seeming like they're getting nowhere, and they feel that the only thing they could possibly do is make a permanent decision that will not, that is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And suicide doesn't end your pain. It just brings the pain to somebody else. So we have to make sure that we're constantly reaching out to our brothers and sisters, and not just not some, all, because even though somebody may be putting on that game face and going about their business day in and day out, that they're in good health and their head straight, they're the people you need to be checking on as well, and just asking them a simple question: how are you doing? Because if you can ask that question, chances are you're going to get a legitimate answer. And reach out. Okay? Leave no one behind. Make sure that your brothers and sisters are taken care of. You know who suffers the most. Check them out day in and day out. If you have to bother them, it doesn't matter. Let them know you care. Because it's something as simple as asking the right questions and checking on people that you may not know are suffering, but they just needed to hear somebody ask that question: how you doing? When you're out and about, don't be afraid to buy a cup of coffee for somebody. Don't be afraid to hold a door for somebody. Don't be afraid to give a smile to somebody. Tell a veteran you see out there that welcome home. Thank you for your service. All these things are very simple, okay? So let's make sure that we're taking care of everybody. That's what it's about, Dean. It's about making sure your face looks hurting, BD. My face looks hurting. Why? Why do you think my face looks hurting? Because it's red? No, that's just the camera. It's a what you call it, HD camera, so it just brings out everything. I'm not sunburned, and my face is hurting. Yeah, I mean, whenever I talk about stuff like this, I do get a little sentimental, because it's important. You know, I've had some people this past week, and it cracks me up, question my service, whether or not I actually served, whether or not I actually retired. People are out there just trying to freaking, they just want to make everybody around them miserable. And we've got to ensure that, we're the ones that are taking a positive approach to everything we're doing. We're pushing the right agenda, and we're ensuring that our brothers and sisters are taken care of. I don't put this out enough because it gets put out through word of mouth. But, Threatcon 5 Clothing is here for one purpose and one purpose only. It's to help our veterans in need, whether they're an organization that is, trying to help veterans, or they're a veteran in need trying to pay a bill. Please, please, please send them to us. We will do what we can. And if I don't have enough money to help them, I've got plenty of contacts, plenty of other organizations out there that are more than willing to help. Okay, so if you have somebody that's hurting, they need some place to go, hit us up. We will do what we can to help them. But let's do our part. Let's ensure that we prevent another suicide. All right. So this is going to be it for the show tonight, guys. I told you we were only going to do a 1-hour show. Tune into the other shows here on VRS, whether it's The Bar on Wednesdays or BV Nation Radio on Sunday nights, the Sports Church on Sunday nights, the Bear News on Sunday nights, the Warrior Wallet on Thursdays, WO Radio on Tuesdays. I think I got them all. FemVets, I think, is on Tuesdays as well. Check out the shows. Support veterans, support veteran-owned businesses, support veteran-owned ventures. And, if you want to get into something like this, hit us up and let us know you're interested. We'll see what we can't do about helping you out to achieve your goal of being a radio show host or whatever. So, all right. Hey, guys, I love you. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next Taco Tuesday evening. I'm Bulldog. This is Threatcon 5 Radio. We're brought to you by BeardBQSauce.com and Venomous Firearms, and, of course, Threatcon 5 Clothing, where you can wear the grenade. Good night. Love you all.
This concludes our broadcast day.